somebody's snoring. It's the dog. So, right then. I hope everybody's all right. And we're going to introduce you now to a couple of new, well, not new channels, but one's going to be a new channel to most of you. But I've got a few thank yous to say, first of all. One is in the side chat here, Jeremy Jones. So JJ come last week, and first thing of the morning before I went out on a ride, and actually took the carb off the bike from me because I couldn't get the carb off the bike. I didn't realise that the throttle was attached to it as well, the opposite side, and yeah. So if you've never worked with carbs, then you know, for me, I've never worked with carbs, so I had no idea. So yeah, it was that's a massive thank you. And the other massive thank you is to Carl Sparky, who's come today to pick the carb up. Who's another subscriber who's going to go and do and clean and rebuild and refit the carb for me. So again, thank you very much to both of you. Really, 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 really appreciate it. Right then, we've already got Picos Paul here. Ferret, Carl, how you doing, mate? Jeremy Jones, Back Road Tourist, how you doing, Mucker? You, how you doing, mate? Mick, it was like trying to show the wife, mate. It was worse than that. I bet your missus has got more knowledge than me. Right then, going to introduce now the lads who we're bringing on. Who slipped in there? Robert Munro, how you doing, mate? You okay? So, the first one is Alan from Blue Yonder Moto. How you doing, Mucker? You okay?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
All good, mate. All good, thank you. You're looking well. You're looking well.
Yeah, I've got bike suntan, you know, from Windburn today.
You dear. Yeah, you come up, you take your arms off, and you feel all sunburnt, don't you? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It lasts about 3 hours, doesn't it?
Yeah. You get out the shower, and then you're just gone again. Then
exactly.
And now we've got another Alan, but this is Buster ADV Biker. Most of you probably may possibly just come across his channel, but he's got a good channel, really good channel. He does a lot of stuff into Europe. So like I say, it is a good channel. Right then, Al, do you want to just say like what bike you ride, where you're from, what area, and then what you'd like your channel to be in 12 months' time?
What Alan are you talking about?
You,
me,
Buster.
Yeah,
Buster,
so,
go on, Buster. We'll call
right,
him. Right, so we've got Alan and Buster, right? So instead of calling them Alan 1 and Alan 2, we've got Buster and Alan, right? So that's it now.
Yeah, so I'm from originally from Glasgow. I stay in East Ayrshire now. I ride an Africa Twin 1100, and I really started the channel. If you go far back enough, it was all about bass guitars.
I was going to say, I watched that about your bass guitars, about your music. You mean your music, ain't you?
Yeah, I'm into punk. So, and then I've always been into bikes, and it just so happened I done a trip back in 2023 to Luxembourg and didn't have any cameras. And then I realised I should be filming this. So when I came back, got the cameras and just started, I changed the channel to a bike channel, doing adventures and stuff. And that's why you can see a load for Budapest and Luxembourg and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like I say, that's where I kind of found your channel. Just looking through European stuff really, and then seeing if you go into his channel, what he'll have like is a map of Europe, and then he's got like little pointers of what section they're doing that day, for example. But yeah, it's like I say, lads, you know, it is a good channel. So if you like that kind of thing, which we all do on this channel, then drop him a sub. I'm sure he'll sub you back if you sub to him as well. So that's the way I work with anybody who subs to me. I try, you know, if I then I do try and sub them back, because I think it's just a nice courteous thing to do. Do you know what I mean? It's not nice to have as many as you can on there. So, but yeah. So we're gonna kick off first of all with clothing and equipment. Because one of the first things I'm going to say, 2025 has been an absolute bastard to me at the minute. So not only have I had to patchwork my rucker stuff up, which I absolutely got ribbed for the weekend from Danny. I can't say what he said to me. It took me about 15 minutes on my edit today to try and blank out like a 20-second clip because of the amount of F bombs and derogatory comments he made to me in about a 20-second period. So I've ended up just blocking 20 seconds off and putting a bit of music on it in the end rather than him going, he sounded like a Dalek. But so basically the weekend, I went out the weekend, and when I got back, just went to take my boots off as you do. Do you know what I mean? Nothing special. But then realised like the insole of my boot. Can you see that? Has actually come away completely.
Came away for the soul.
Yeah. So I don't know whether that could be repaired. If it can be repaired, will it still be Gore-Tex and waterproof, or is it worth, or are they now really a summer boot? Has that gone now from a Gore-Tex boot now into something that's US really? And you need to,
It depends. What kind of boots are they? What make?
TCX. I mean, they ain't cheap boots. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It depends the way they're made. Some boots are made like a sock, and then the sole stuck to the bottom of them. So the only way to test is to put it in water and test it. But if it's just the sole came away, it just needs re-glued, I would assume.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know because of the Gore-Tex, because it's got like the Gore-Tex inner lining. I don't know whether it will affect the Gore-Tex on the inside or not. Do you know what I mean? So I ain't got a clue. My daughter's 15-year-old diamonds are exactly the same. They've been super glued many times and still remain waterproof. That's good to know. Because I'm actually thinking about taking it actually to.
Keep losing you on sound, Brian. I'm not sure if it's your end or my end.
I think it's my end, mate.
I'll just grab that. Well, when I was away to Budapest, I've got RST Adventure X boots. And when I came back, this part here, there was a hole here that came away, similar to what's happened to yours.
Yeah.
And lucky enough, if they're under 2 years old, you can send them back to the company. So I sent them back to RST and they sent me a brand new pair of boots back. Because when I was coming through Germany, I actually had to buy, I had with me the kind of roll bags, the stuff you can put kit in, it keeps them dry. I had my feet in them and inside the boot to keep my feet dry. So when I came back, I just sent them back to RST and they sent me a new pair of boots.
Yeah. Yeah, like I say, I don't know whether is it worth, is it worth looking at them? Is it worth putting them in the shop or not? Like, do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day,
I think like somebody else said, Brian, I think just give it a try, gluing it back together. Because if you take it to a repairers, that's all they'll do. They'll just try gluing it back on. Because that it looks as though that's what's failed, doesn't it? It looks as if it's the adhesive. That's given way. I'd just give it a go. Now you're an expert in sort of kit repair.
Now you're the kit repair master.
That's now going to be my new sideline: kit repair, motorbike kit, crash repair kit. That's what it's going to be called.
Yeah. Also do a handy lining tent repairs as well, no doubt. But there you go.
It'd be like Delboy and Rodney. I mean, only fools and horses. But yeah, like I say, it's just one of them that I just think to myself, it's frustrated me because I've not had these. I don't know how long I've actually had them, but I've had them a while now. But it's just frustrating. Like I say, there's probably 200 quid these boots was. So you kind of feel, well, I do. I feel a bit disappointed. Feel a little bit pissed off with it that it's failed the way it has. But,
a lot of kit these days is a little bit suspect in terms of its build quality, isn't it? I mean, I've had kit where numerous times that the zips have gone. The zips has failed. And when you look at some of the zips, the quality of them is pathetic, really. They're very lightweight. And when you think about it, we do give our kit a fairly hard life, don't we? So it's it's to a certain extent it's to be expected. But I don't think sounds the old cliche, but I don't think they're built as well as they used to be. I have had leathers that have lasted me 15, 20 years, that sort of period. Well, if I bought new leathers now, they wouldn't last me that long.
Like I say, mate, it's just I don't know whether it's I'm undecided whether, but if you saying there, or Hugh saying there that his daughter's exactly the same, super glued them, and they remain waterproof. See that to me, I'm just thinking at least if I take it to a proper shop, one, they're going to use the proper glue. Not saying that UA, but they're going to use proper glue, and like they probably put them in a vice or something like that, rather than like all I'm going to do is probably fucking roll my tire on it on. You know what I mean? Run me wheel on it or something like that. At least it's going to be done properly. If it fails, then at least I know then that it's been done properly, rather than if it fails and I've done it and you know it's a cag-handed job. At least I know that it's failed because it's not working.
Did you buy them from somebody? Do you know if you bought them from somebody like Superbike shop?
I can't remember where I got them from.
Because they're quite good. You know, if you can quote them your order number, and they always send you an acknowledgement via email. So if you just search back through your emails, you'd be able to find the order number. But if you can quote them the order number, they'll confirm A, whether or not it's still within warranty, and B, even if it's not, quite often they'll take it up with the manufacturers and try and get you something on goodwill. So if you sort of dredge your memory banks and try and remember exactly where you bought them from, depending on the shop, you might have some success that way.
Yeah, I'll have a look into that, because, like I say, at least you take them. And there you go. They might give you some kind of repair guarantee. Yeah, like I say, at least I know it's been done as professionally as it can get. Do you know what I mean? Rather than, like I say, me just gluing it and kind of, you know, the heaviest thing I'm going to put on it is probably a motorbike. Do you know what I mean? A roll motorbike on it to try and make it stick. They've got professional tools there that they can actually do it. So, but yeah, I've got DNA's studio a few years now, never let me down, and very comfortable. Yeah, I've heard that about the D&Easy boots. I had a set when I raced with the D&Easy boots. There's like little ankle boots as well nice, but expensive though, the D&Easy. Really expensive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how much you ride as well. I don't think they expect you to wear your boots as much as what maybe we do. Do you know what I mean? They make them for people who are summer riders. They're not kind of made for all year round. So they put them through quite a bit of.
Yeah. Well, like I say, you know, peaky sliders. There's so much choice, it's nuts. That's the reason why, and this is the reason why. You know, these boots, they're not cheap boots, or the one when I bought them, there's over 200 quid, and you know, this for me, there's still a lot of life left in them. Do you know what I mean? But it's like Buster was saying there. You know, that I've done last year. I did have a 13,000 mile last year on my bike at the med to kind of, they should be med to that kind of distance. But if you're wearing them like that on a regular basis, then you know it's they're bound to fail at some point. Everything's going to fail at some point, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? So you know you gotta look into it. You gotta. I just think if I take them to a cobbler's, there can't be any. I'm going to do a more professional job than what I can.
What model of TCX are they? They look a bit like my TCX, actually. Is it the Gore-Tex Explorer, GTX Explorer?
I don't know. They're like a flat sole.
Yeah, very similar to mine. But mine.
Like I said, I bought these because one they're flat and there's not much of a heel. Yeah. But two, they're really comfortable when you're walking around. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, so if you get somewhere and you want to have a bit of a walk around, then they're actually really comfortable.
Yeah.
But like you say, you know, I think you've just got to look at them. Do you guys kind of? I've started doing it more recently, but do you guys kind of have like different sets of clothing for like different points of the year? So have you got like, for example, a winter set of clothing, and then an autumn set of clothing, and then a summer set of clothing, or
not quite as many as that, but yeah.
I do. If you look behind me, so I
was going to say,
I've got RST Paragon 5 suit, which is for winter. It's you can go down to minus 10 in that, maybe even further. Then I've got the Adventure X suit, which is a kind of mix of both. So you can take the full inside out, fully summer, open events. And then I've got a kind of kickabout set, which is the RST kind of casual jacket. And I've got a pair of jeans as well, if I'm just going to go maybe a half hour or something, Kevlar jeans. But my boots, I wear the same boots all the time, regardless of what I'm wearing. So, yeah, and I've got multiple gloves as well.
Yeah, like I say, I've started doing it now. Probably over the last, I'll probably say last year was probably my first actual go of having certain. I wouldn't say certain clothing for certain. But like winter, summer, do you know what I mean? But if it's warm, then I'll wear a particular jacket or a particular pair of jeans, and at least then you kind of you're giving your winter stuff a bit of a break.
Yeah, there's some stuff that's kind of sort of multi-seasonal, isn't there? But if you're riding in the middle of the winter, and it's not that long ago, that many weeks ago, when it was like 2, 3, 4 degrees, and you aren't going to ride very far in 2, 3, 4 degrees before it starts biting it, does it? But I've got some decent winter gear, quite well lined winter gear, and a mankini and Arsenal's chaps.
Mankini and cowboy boots.
But that's when you're on the Harley, and you're going down to Starbucks. But anyway, so I've got some good winter gear, and most of the winter stuff is actually Merlin's, and I find that really good value for money. It's not super pricey, but it's not cheap and cheerful either. It gets that middle ground, so it's quite good. A bit like your TCX boots. They're not the most expensive, but they're not the cheapest, are they?
No, it's like a mid-range boot, really.
But yeah, and I've got some ventilator gear for the really hot, for those 1 or 2 really hot days that we have. But a lot of my stuff, I've accumulated it over loads of years, and I'm looking over there. There's, if you can remember Hein Gericke, I've still got some Hein Gericke stuff.
Oh yeah, Hein Gericke,
and I always found their stuff really, really good. So the fact that they've gone is a big miss as far as I'm concerned. I really rated their stuff.
Yeah,
they were bought over by Revit. Revit bought them over.
Oh yeah, I was going to say that Revit stuff's really good as well. It's really, yeah. But it's not. For me, it's like just over your threshold. For me, it's like if you've got a budget of 300 quid for a pair of boots, their nearest budget is like 350. So it's always just like that little bit more than what you want to spend. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a big European. I mean, the main depot for Revit is in Holland, is in Nijmegen. So I've seen the factory. The factory is massive, but their kit's really good. My brother's got the Revit. It's called the H2O kit.
H2O kit, yeah, I looked at that.
H2O, and it's very similar to the RST Adventure X, but it's kind of modular.
Yeah.
So mine's got the inner Gore-Tex in it, and then I don't think you've seen Gore-Tex, their version of Gore-Tex, but his is all external. So it's like a waterproof jacket that you can just carry out behind you, and you just pull it out and put it over your jacket, and it's a really good kit. But as you said, it's slightly over the kind of threshold.
It is. It's getting into the sort of more premium sort of pricing, isn't it, for kit?
Yeah. It's like if there's like three layers, it's like it's like the cheapest of the top layer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like so you're in between kind of being slightly over your budget to then going into like the realms of Rooker, Clim, and all all that kind of malarkey. But
like you've mentioned Rooker, go on. I think for anybody who's watching who's not seen your video or such like, I think you need to explain your recent experiences with Rooker, Brian.
It's been great, mate. So so I'll come off with some ice, basically. So, like, don't know if you're watching on Alan's channel and you're not seeing my channel. So basically, I'll come off on about 27 mile an hour on a sheet of black ice, and the Rooker stuff just completely just chewed up. And like I say, this ain't on a dry road or nothing like that. It's on on an icy road, and I've had to patch. Basically, I've bought these patches that are for tents, basically, and patched it up. And I just wouldn't. There's nothing in me now that will ever go down the route of a laminate suit ever again. If it rains, then I will go back to getting a separate jacket and putting the jacket over the top and zipping it and using like an outer layer rather than having the comfort and the stretchiness and all the rest of it, the ease of having a laminate suit, because for the price what I paid, I expected a lot better than what it was in the crash. I wouldn't go down the road of buying another Rooker suit again.
So was the jacket itself, is that the one that's about 1,300 quid?
Yeah, 1,200 quid, the jacket. Yeah. I've got the Navala 2.0. So I didn't pay. I was quite fortunate. So when I did Scottish Little Soldiers, I went to my local JNS, which is next to an army base. I had a good chat with them, and they give me a military discount, and then they knocked another 300 quid off. So I got the Navala 2.0 for like 1,500 quid. So I had like nearly 500 to nearly 600 quid knocked off. So it's a massive chunk. But I just wouldn't go down that route again at all. I'd prefer now to go down like Rooker, not Rooker, like RST or Alpine Star as like an adventure suit, because I think that would have held up stronger in that type of scenario rather than what the Rooker has. And now, like I say, that's a £2,000 suit, and really it's
right off pretty much, isn't it?
Yeah. I've patched it together with patches that are £3.50. So it's a £2,000 suit that's been patched with £3.50 patches.
Interesting to see when you rewear it and go out in it again. If you go out in rain, if it stands up to the rain, stands up to the waterproofing.
I went out last weekend purposely with it because it's supposed to have rained in the afternoon. So I actually went out last weekend in it, but it was like 18 degrees. So it was like wearing a plastic bag. Felt like I was boxing again, running around while losing weight. I was absolutely sweating me row out. But yeah, like I say, me now, the next suit I'm going to be going down the route of a textile suit, because I just think it'll. If you have a small, because it was a small off, it was a bad crash at all. It was a small off. It'd just hold up better, a lot better.
And part of your slide was on grass, wasn't it?
Not for me, for the bike.
All right. You stayed on the road. The bike went in somebody's garden, didn't it?
So the video that's coming out on Friday, I'll go past the crash scene, and there's still all the marks where the bikes went through the grass and it's landed in the grass and everything. So they've cut the grass, and then all you see is these brown patches and marks where the bike streamed out into the front garden. So
I did that.
It was actually quite strange to go back 3 weeks later. I mean, my ribs are still hurting, my ribs are still killing, but to go back 3 weeks later to go around the same corner 3 weeks later, and I went past, and I still felt really unsure, because there must be some kind of I want not stream, but like a water coming off the mountain, because the middle of the road is just soaking wet. Where I slipped off, it's just completely soaking wet. So there must be some kind of of a water channel or something that's coming down onto the main road. So, but
going back to the Rucker thing though, Brian. I don't know if you or any of the other guys watch Moto Legends channel. Chris, he calls himself the twat in the cap, doesn't he? So we're allowed to
twat in the cap.
Yeah, and
I thought you were about me.
No, well, you said that. I could possibly comment.
I thought I better get him for anybody else.
No, but he before your experience, I watched one of his videos. I think it was about the Nivala actually, and he was kind of saying that Rucker's philosophy, and he was kind of apologizing for them. Really, the reason why they don't adhere to AA or AAA standards, because people come in and expect it to be AAA and blah 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 blah, is because they place greater emphasis on the armor. And if you're sliding down the road, it's the armor that is the important thing, and not the outer layer, i.e. the textile. And basically what he was saying, which is what you said, is, well, you should expect it to rip up. It's going to rip up, isn't it? You should expect that. So it's interesting that, like, one of their premier dealers is basically apologizing for the fact that they don't meet standards in terms of, that, because I think the AAA AA is about abrasion resistance as much as anything, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is about abrasion resistance as you're going down the road. So he was basically admitting that basic Ruckers aren't very good in terms of abrasion resistance.
No,
but don't worry about it.
Yeah, but the armor is AAA. The armor is AAA.
The armor is very good. Yeah,
the garment isn't even rated.
Yeah.
So the actual garment itself isn't even rated.
Because they do their own testing, don't they? Or in the past, they've had their own test standards, which, a bit like I used to say with the helmets, we exceed the normal sort of test standards. Ours are much better, so we don't need to do what the market does, because we're up there and they're down there, sort of thing.
Yeah. But
I think a lot of the suit makers get away with it because there's no actual any law for suits in Britain at all. There's no legal requirement. You have to wear a suit riding your bike. The only legal requirement is your helmet. That's it.
Yeah.
So I don't think there is any British standard to a suit or anything like that, because the only legal requirement is a helmet, which I think is wrong.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree with that. I've said that before on other lives and stuff like that. But it's like on your race suit though. So on your race suit, you'll have double levered elements. So the double levered elements will be, like, for example, your elbow, your shoulder, your hips, your knees, your shins, your backside, part of your back. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Where with the Rucker stuff, it's your shoulder, your elbows, and your knees. That's it. Now, if you fall off your bike at any point, your arse is going to hit the floor. Your arse is going to hit the floor at some point. So that whole section, that whole hip section, should be abrased as well. That's my thinking.
Yeah.
Because if it don't matter, you fall off a BMX, mate, you get up and you're like, at some point, you're like, my arse hurts or my hip hurts or something. Do you know what I mean?
It's normally the part where you're just at your haunch in it, right? That's where the bit that gets it is your haunch.
Yeah. It's just below your fat roll for me.
I'm getting that. I don't live with that.
Just below your love handle.
But the RST stuff, it only comes with shoulder, elbow, and knee. But you can buy the hip and the back. It comes with a back one as well. But there's extra places to put extra armor in the suits, and every one of them's the same.
I'm on about the abrasion. So, like, on race levers, you'll have double patched leather. So you'll have two pieces of leather on top of one another. Do you know what I mean? So, like, on my Rucker suit, on the elbows, there's abrasion marks on the elbows, on the shoulders, and on the knees. So I still think they should be on the hips as well, because, like I say, that's another section. So
do you know what I mean? There's double material on.
Yeah.
And there's also a pocket for putting armour in as well.
Yeah.
So most of the kit is you've got like double material, but it's a lot thicker at the places that you're mentioning. They just don't add the armour for your hips or your basically your ass.
Yeah.
You can buy it. You can buy it and add it in. That gives you even extra. So it's, but
yeah, like I say, I'd never go back to, or I'd never have another laminate suit ever. I wouldn't do it. So, because like I say, I fell off before in a pair. I fell off at 40 mile an hour in a normal pair of jeans, and they lasted and come off better than that Rucker stuff for £2,000 Rucker suit. Yeah. So it's I'll go down that route again. Never, ever.
Well,
So.
I do wear bike jeans in the summer, and I've got a pair of Hood jeans which are with the Kevlar lining, and they're probably quite good jeans, but they're very heavy. If it's slightly warm, they're always too hot, and they're baggy as hell, so they're not very flattering. But I've also got some single layer John Doe ones. I have to say they're fantastic. Now they're supposedly AAA, single layer AAA jeans. And I'm a little bit skeptical about how good they would be. And they've got armour in as well, how good they would be in an actual impact. But in terms of test results, they meet all the standards, the top standards. But I wear them, with a little bit of, caution, I think really is the word. I don't wear them on long journeys, on long rides, just short rides in the summer, but they're good. I have to say they're good. And going back to what you're saying again about things for different seasons, they're great in the summer.
Yeah, like I say, like Mick saying here, the Oxford kit. When I raced, I used to use Oxford gloves and Oxford boots. I never had a drama with them, never. And one thing about some of the Oxford stuff, and sometimes you find this, that just because they're cheap, it don't mean that they're bad.
No.
Do you know what I mean? These Oxford gloves I had 2 sets of these race Oxford gloves, and I must have crashed 3 or 4 times with them. And the first thing that goes down is probably your hands. Do you know what I mean? And at no point at all did I have any marks or abrasions on my hands. You know what I mean? The gloves took the majority of it. Yet you buy Alpine Stars and they just fall apart. The stitching comes up. So yeah.
I think Oxford gets a bad rap for years ago. When I always remember years ago when I first started riding. Yeah. Oxford was cheap back then, but obviously the standards are a lot better now because they've realised that people buy them, so you get good quality for your money. With Oxford now, years ago they were like that's what you bought when you first rode your bike and did your test and stuff like that. But now they've definitely got a better reputation now than they have 3 years ago.
Yeah,
Oxford, I think, don't quote me, but I think it's the same company that own Revit that own Oxford as well. They make Oxford stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, Oxford make a lot of the bike gear.
Yeah, they're probably all from the same factory in Indonesia or somewhere like that.
Yeah, I think Revit owns quite a lot. It's astonishing the size of that factory, and it's massive.
Yeah, but that's quite similar to like with Rucker. So that's why Rucker won't do like repair on any kit because it comes from I can't remember, like India or Asia or somewhere like that. So they just get mass manufacturers there. Where if you have a problem with Klim, the Klim stuff you can send back. I don't know where it comes from. It's like I think is it Switzerland or Norway or somewhere like that, like kind of thing. And they develop and they manufacture it in their factory, so you can send that back and have that particular panel removed and replaced. So you're getting the garment I wouldn't say as new, but it's getting replaced from the manufacturer that's put it together. So the warranty's there, and it's getting done properly, and that's one of the reasons why Rucker will do it, because it's got to get sent back to, I don't know, in Indonesia or wherever it's got to go back to. Do you know what I mean? It's just ain't worth it. It's just not worth it. So, and I get it as a business. I get it. I totally understand it. But as a consumer, I just think it's really poor for a two grand suit to chew up like that.
Yeah.
And like I've had it before where people say, "Oh, was there anything in your pockets?" And I was like, "There was nothing in my pockets." It's absolutely looks like somebody's been out at the cheese grater. And it's just not good enough. Just not good enough. So
it's definitely disheartening when you've paid all that money for it, and it's the first time you go down. It's I mean, what if you've been out on a tour and that happened to you? You're halfway through a tour, and you go down.
I mean, I have put some. I've actually bought extra patches now to put in my back box, just in case anything happens. At least now, I can fix my own shit, or I can help somebody else fix their shit.
Yeah.
Because like we all do, we've all got different clothing when we go like I do. You know, when you go abroad, unless you're going to be stopping in a location for 2 or 3 days, then like I'll ride down in my rucker stuff, get there, and then if it's going to be nice for 3 days, and that's when your summer kit comes out, though, you know, you like your jeans and your other jackets and your heated, you don't use your heated stuff or your hoodies or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So you have a specific set of clothing for touring down, for example, and then a particular set of clothing to wear when you're there. Also, I do if I'm going to be staying somewhere. If I'm going to be moving on every day for like 10 days, then I'll just stop in one piece of equipment. Really, what, like for example, my rucker stuff, or what before I had that was my BMW stuff. So, but do you guys do? Is that something that I do? Do you guys do it as well? Do you guys like take separate stuff or not?
No. The best suit I've ever owned is that Avenger X suit. It does everything. It does everything. Cold weather, hot weather. You just take all the lining out, open all the vents. It's like just having a mesh. RST do an S1 jacket. It's like a mesh but with armour in it. Yeah. All abrasive and stuff. That does the exact same thing. So I just used that the whole time. I was riding about in 47-degree heat and that, and it was brilliant.
So the stuff I'm getting to like at the moment, and it's only I spoke to another YouTube channel and they use it a lot, which is that Adventure Spec. Have you heard of them?
No.
Yeah.
No.
So that.
Oh, ES. Yeah.
IS it's called. It's Adventure Spec. So it's like an A and an S together straight off the bat. But their kit's supposed to be absolutely phenomenal. Super light, super strong. The everything's AAA rated. It's supposed to be brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And they do like a shirt, but it's like an off-road shirt kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's like a Knox shirt.
At the end of the day, it's got to be light enough and easily scrunched up enough to be able to fit in your luggage, hasn't it? If you're going to take something as a change into when you get there. But a bit like you, Alan, I basically, if I set out, I'm wearing the same outers all the way. And if I've got layers underneath, I just peel the layers off if it's getting too hot, which is unusual that it's getting too hot. But if it is getting too hot, I'll just take the layers out and crunch those into the panniers or into the top box or whatever.
Yeah, on you go, Brian.
No, go on, Buster. Go on.
No, because when I was doing the trip, I know I keep going back to it, but I just wanted to take as little as possible with me. Yeah. So I only had I wore that suit constantly when I was riding the bike. And when I stopped, I just had one pair of jeans and a couple of change of t-shirts. I didn't want to be, sorry Brian, but I don't want to be a typical GS rider with multiple bags hanging off my bike. I just wanted to have my 2 panniers, my top box, that was it. So if it didn't fit in day 3, it wasn't going with me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I must admit, like when I did Austria, to be fair, I could have got most of my stuff in a back box, but I ended up taking 4 panniers, back box, fucking bag. Yeah, and I mean, mate, it looks like I look like I was doing the long way round. You know what I mean? I was only going away for 10 days, but do you know what I mean? But I had the space there to take stuff if I wanted extra to take stuff. Like I took my BMW sneakers, and when we got in Austria, because we was in Austria for 4 days, I ended up using the wearing the sneakers rather than my boots and stuff like that. Like, do you know what I mean? But I had the space there to do it, kind of thing. But you kind of it's like it. Actually, these are the channels I was on about. Rich and Pete English use the IS stuff, but it's saying it's expensive. It is expensive, but it's a rucker expensive. Do you know what I mean? A suit's like 1,200 quid. It's a lot of money, but you kind of, if you're going to be in excess of £1,000, then you want the best. You want the best stuff at the end of the day. And if that's light, durable, AAA rated, and the armor's AAA rated, and it's actually made for the adventure. Well, it's called adventure spec, so it's actually made by people and being wore for people with people who are, who are going off road. Who
and it lasts
done the test,
more than one off.
Fucking that, I hope so. Yeah.
I mean, as long as it lasts for more than one off, that's the best thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I would maybe go to a wee bit more expensive. So I was saying that. I mean, that RST suit was, I think, about 800-900 quid or something. I think something like that, which isn't that expensive. But yeah, I would maybe go for something like the AS stuff if I knew it was going to last more than one off. And
yeah,
do you know what I mean? But I've been using RST for years, and I know the stuff, so I like it. I know it is what I wanted to do. So it's everything. It's whatever suits you, really. Yeah,
it's like Joe's asking here, does anybody use a specific jacket or a tech summer for hot days? I mean, I've got like an off-road shirt that I'll put over, and it's a mine's Knox, but it's got like all as it is a zip-up jacket. Well, it's like an undershirt, really. It's like an off-roading thing that you zip up, and then you've got like the armor on all your armor on your shoulders, your chest, your back, your arms, your forearms, and then I'll just put like an hoodie or something over the top of it. That's all. That's all I use. I don't. It's in a cat. That's all I use. I don't use nothing else. And even I've done it before in the past where I've just put like a normal shirt over the top of it. I've just got like a big baggy shirt that sometimes I just put over the top of it.
That Knox stuff that became that popular. I think I've got some somewhere as well. That became that popular. Doing what you said, putting that on and putting a hoodie on. They actually made a hoodie, an armored hoodie, because it was that popular. People doing that was putting the Knox stuff on and the hoodie on top of it.
Yeah. Like I say, and I did. One of the reasons why I did that was, or I went that way, because when I got into Austria, the amount of off-roaders that was riding around there with just the Knox kit on, not even no shirt or nothing. All they had on was like the under trousers and then the Knox pants over the top. So they had like the knee braces and the hip braces, and then just like a normal off-road pants over the top. But the not over on the jacket, all they had was like a t-shirt and then the Knox over the top, and that was it. And I was like, first of all, I was like, that looks cool as fuck. First of all, but then when I started speaking to him, the one lad was German. He spoke really well English, and then when he was saying how hot it gets there in the summer, and he went, it's just too hot to wear anything. It's just too hot. And I was just like, you know what? I get it. I get it now. As soon as I come back, I was straight on eBay. I think I won it for like 70 quid, second hand, and I've had it now for, I don't know, 3 years. But yeah, but I'd wear that under the, like if I've got vented clothing and stuff like that, mesh jackets and stuff like that. I'd wear it underneath that. I just feel like I couldn't wear just like a vented jacket. I'd need some kind of armor underneath to bulk it up, to feel like I've got something on, if that makes sense.
After saying that Revit was expensive earlier on, I'm now going to contradict myself. Because soon you were saying, do you wear anything specifically for those hot days? Yeah, it's this. I think it's called the Eclipse. It's a Revit jacket anyway, and it's got full mesh panels on the front, and I think on the back of the sleeves as well. Weirdly, on the underside of the sleeves too. It's a great jacket. It's really nice. The only downside is that it doesn't have a back protector. So again, I'm pretty circumspect when and where I riding it. So, but it's a really nice jacket, really comfortable, and it's really cool. Yeah, and that wasn't expensive. I think it was only about £120, which these days, as we've just been discussing the price of rockers and stuff, that's not a bad price at all, really.
I was going to say it's a fucking decent pair of gloves like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what the sun looks like. I don't know what you're talking about. What is that sun thing you're talking about?
Buster lives in Scotland, and he's fucking 24 hours a year.
But there's nothing worse, is there? You know, it's a really nice sunny day in the summer, and it's like 25 plus, and it might get a little bit hotter, and you think, I'd love to go out on the bike, but I'll be too bloody hot. You know, it's the last thing you want to be concerned about, really. It's as bad as being too cold. Yeah.
I think if you're going to get, like Steve is saying here, the protection is very, very limited on the mesh stuff. So I'd prefer to buy a really cheap jacket, for example. You know, a 50, 60 quid cheapest cheap jacket. I ain't bothered what name it is, and wear something armoured underneath the jacket. Then hope that you're paying 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 quid for an air jacket, a mesh jacket, to get decent armour in it, when you can use your armour then all year round and just use that jacket, even if you use it for the next 4 years at 60 quid. And it's, well, in this country, you're only going to wear it a couple of times a year, are you? You know what I mean? You're going to wear it.
You see, Brian, for me, the problem with the Nox Urbane Pro, or whatever they call it, I ain't got the body for it. I'd look stupid in it. I have not got the body of a Greek god, so I would look ridiculous in one. So that's the main reason why I don't wear them.
Mate, I'll put it in. I have to wear some underneath it to tuck me fucking rolls in. Do you know what I mean? And then put some over the top of it, so it actually looks like you got a physique, rather than the Michelin man in fucking rolled up like a sausage roll.
Yeah, you need good underneath.
Yeah. Common guys, company's got. See, that's what I'm going to go back to. I'm going to go back to textiles and waterproofing. And a waterproof outer. That's what I'm going to go back to, because
providing it's a fairly stretchy waterproof outer, it's got a bit of rubberization in it. That's not too bad. But I mean, the problem is when they don't stretch, and when basically you get all hot and sweaty underneath, because you get all the condensation, don't you, on the inside of the waterproofing, which is a bit of a pain.
Yeah. I mean,
I know I keep banging on about the RST suit, the Adventure suit.
Are you being sponsored by RST, by any chance?
No, I'm not. Just
Are you wanting to get sponsored by RST?
I do want to get sponsored by RST. So, on the way back through Germany, we had it was one day, it was just downpour for the full day, and I got absolutely soaked. But because I had the inners in that were waterproof, I didn't feel it. So once it did heat back up again, all you do is open all the vents and ride along, and it actually dries the outer of the suit.
Yeah.
So within about 2 hours, the whole suit's dry again. Where the problem that I had with using like an outer shell, like a shell jacket to go over the top of your suit, you're basically just keeping all the moisture in. So you're more likely to get hypothermia or heat stroke.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's... I'll stick by my RST Avenger Exit. I've tested it in all weathers, and it's brilliant.
Yeah, like I say, I think like for me, I'm going to go back to the textile jacket. That's what the kind of textile suits, like the RST.
You mean the drop line where you've got a separate zip in, zip out liner? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Because it's just. I like the RST stuff I had, the adventure stuff I had. I now wish I hadn't got rid of it. I only sold it because I bought the Rucker stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the only reason why I sold it, because I was like, I don't need 2 suits. And in hindsight now, I wish I'd have kept hold of it. And that's that. I'm pissed off with that for myself, really, because that suit was sound and it fit me like a glove as well. The RST stuff does. So.
Yeah, and I'm Scottish and I'm tight, so I don't like getting rid of anything. So the Paragon 5 suit, I mean, it's up to Paragon 9 now.
Yeah.
But I'll never get rid of that Paragon 5 suit because it still looks brand new. It does. It's a winter suit. There's no point in changing it for the Paragon 9. There's no difference in it.
Yeah. So, but it's like a couple of the lads are right with the army lads. They've got the Paragon 6, With the thing I like with that is that's the one with like the storm flat thing around it that comes right around your neck. Yeah, so that's the kind of thing I want to look for. Don't like dog, but Nico's lovely.
The Paragon suit's no good for hot weather though. So if you go if it's anything over like 30 degrees, it's the air vents are no any good.
Yeah.
Those vented as the Adventure X suit.
To be honest,
so that's the only thing about the Paragon stuff. It's designed for
our clients.
Weather.
Yeah. I must admit, I mean, like when I look at it. Hold on, mate. Hey, have a day off. Fucking barking at the tails on the line. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people. Well, everybody who's had that Risha stuff, absolutely buzzes about it. Yeah, Risha Gore-Tex, Christ heated when he's in a lovely gloves APK, then Nox Urban Pro and a hoodie in the summer. Mate, like I say, mate, everybody I know who's got that Risha, I think you pronounce it Risha, rave about it. When I spoke to Richie Vida the other day about it, when we met up for breakfast, and he absolutely raves about it. So yeah, but trousers and top separate, extra rider. Yeah, I think that's, like I say, that's the way I'm going next. Once I start looking for another suit, which I've got to start looking for another suit, because I just don't like the thought of having these patches all over the fucking rucker stuff, because it looks a bit of a mess, if I'm being brutally honest. I couldn't be a motorcycle gear salesman at demand nothing. I'd love to. I'd try everything as well.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's what it's like down there, but up here when you go to bike shops, there's hardly anything in the bike shops for gear.
I don't know.
We have a J&S, we have a Infinity, but even they don't stock a lot of stuff in. It's all online. You just, as soon as you walk in, so have you got this? To go online and get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I must admit, like, I'm going to plug them now. These people don't sponsor the channel or nothing at all, but my moto. So you got one in Derby, one in Leeds, one in Manchester. So the one in Manchester is the one I go to most mainly, because the Derby and Leeds one are A24. They're both about 2 hours, but I go there because I get a free breakfast off Phil. So, but it's nice to go in and actually try stuff on and see if it fits. You know what I mean? Because I do know the Risha stuff comes up, small. So I tried on a large jacket, and it was more like a medium. It was absolutely tiny. Couldn't even zip it up. So, but Risha Cyclone Infinity was $650 on sale. Always bone dry and warm. That's the one I was looking at. I think it was about $790 when I looked at it, or $750 for the jacket, and I think the trousers are about five something. About the same, about $550. I'm giving money about those patches myself if I have low standards. Mate, like I say, mate, it don't bother me, but it does bother me. You know what I mean? It bothers me because it shouldn't look like that. But at the same time, it's a good talking point when if I get to a place, then it's a good talking point. Peaky, did you look at that Fox Adventure motorcycle gear I mentioned the other week? Fox Defender, I reckon. I did actually. I did. Like I say, for the off-road stuff, I'm still actually looking. I'll probably actually buy some off-road stuff rather than using the rucker stuff, if I'm being brutally honest, because it's just the rucker stuff. It's a little bit too good to be using off-road, but on the flip side of the coin, because it's non-breathable and it's laminate, you sweat your row out in it as well. Yeah, so yeah, I need something like that. But yeah, I did look at the Fox gear. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on the Fox ranges, but like I said, I keep going back to all the Nox stuff because that's what I use when I raced. So it's tried and tested for me. The Nox stuff is.
And Nox have been about for years, and they're tried and tested for off-road and stuff like that, and trial stuff. It's good.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, lads, because he's barking his head off.
His dog.
I know. They're very demanding. I'm surprised mine's not actually come and joined in. She usually does.
That's why I don't have a dog. I don't have a wife. They're all demanding. Too demanding.
Mate, he's worse than the kids. He is. He's worse than the kids. He is. Oh, mate, just sat there barking at the tail on the fucking line. Right at 56 minutes, so we'll start wrapping up in a minute. But yeah, I do like the Fox gear. But like I say, I think I am going to go and look at the off-roading stuff because you need it. You just need it. I've just bought a Fox off-road jacket today. Which one did you buy, Mark?
Is that Mark from Leeds?
Mark from Leeds.
Mark from Leeds. I'm away up here now. You know who Mark from Leeds is.
He's world famous. He's world famous, Mark from Leeds.
I think he is world famous.
Yeah.
He is. Yeah, but like I say, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, by the weekend, Cole Sparky said he's going to get that car back to me. So hopefully next week I can get it in for MOT. And then just hopefully, get on it.
That'll be you good to go.
Get with Ferret and Fox Legion. How much was that, Mark? Was that discounted or what? Did you get some kind of deal on it, mate? The Fox Adventure gear says more touring than off-road gear. All right, that's good to know, though. But that's what I'm saying. That
might be more suitable for you then, Brian.
Yeah, I say, it's because like the old touring stuff, you kind of get to a point where it's a lot like the Rucker stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's good, but you couldn't wear it all the time. Do you know what I mean? And that's if you look at these people like Ewan McGregor, Charlie Broadman, who's done all these trips all around the world, none of them wear fucking Rucker stuff. They all wear adventure stuff. They all wear textiles. Look how many times them pair fell off that bike. Not one of them had a hole in their fucking jacket. Or the trousers, not one.
Mind you, don't forget they had a backup van and they maybe had spare jackets in the backup van as well. So
I don't know. Did you see the fucking state of them when they got to America and they had to buy some new gear because the other stuff was hanging
off them? No.
but yeah, it's I bought second hand on eBay.
40 quid.
You pay 40 quid. That ain't bad. I'll send you a link, Brian, what I bought. Send it me. Let me have a look. Like I say, because I just want to. I want to get on this off-road bike. Now I've got Now I know that the carb's getting sorted. You know what I mean? I can book it in for the MOT, and I don't know if it'll pass the MOT because it's got a front light, a back light, and a brake light. That's all it's got. I don't know if it needs a light for the registration plate constantly or not. I don't know. I don't know what it needs. I don't know what the minimum requirement. I don't know what the minimum requirement is for an MOT for the bike.
Put it through a daytime MOT.
Yeah, that's all it is. I'm only going to get a daytime MOT.
Daytime. You don't need lights for that. So I don't think you need lights at all for a daytime MOT.
Do you need
even a run light?
Do you need? Did you need? Because back in the day, you used to have to have one mirror. Is that still something?
I think so. I think you still need a mirror. I don't think you need running lights, and you only need indicators. See, I got no. You don't need indicators because when I did my Triumph, I'd have nothing on there. No lights, no indicators. Fucking nothing. Nothing at all. All I had was a horn. It's been a long while since I just got a daytime MOT. I don't know what because I know they changed it not long ago. The distance between your indicators. They changed that. I think it was about maybe a year ago or something. The distance between your indicators has to be a certain distance, otherwise they can't pass it. Yeah, because I know you got to. If there's lights on the bike, they've got to work. If there's no lights on the bike, then obviously it's a daytime MOT. But I can't remember if you need
if you needed a mirror or what.
Somebody said in the comments, I don't think you do, because at the end of the day, you just look over your shoulder, don't you? You know.
Well, that's what your arms are fucking for, right? That's what you learn. You're fucking slowing down and fucking going backwards and getting all that crap. I eat. As long as what they're there is working. Yeah, agreed. Exactly. If all the lights are fitted, then it needs to be working. MRT pass off half of them and not required. Yeah, like I say, all there is a headlight with a main beam and a tail running light with a brake. That's it. That's all. That's the only lights on it. That's all. So, and that's it. That's all that's on it. There's no indicators. There's a horn, which I know it's got to have a horn. But no mirrors. Mirrors isn't needed. With the mirrors on, it needs to be, and it's damaged in the movie. Okay, sound. If there's any damage, I will file it for you. Okay, yeah. Like I say, to be fair, I've been looking at it whilst it's been in the garage, and I'm just trying to get it squared. So when I take it down, it's as good as I'm going to get it. Do you know what I mean?
That curtain moving behind you, I keep thinking Eric Morecambe's going to appear any second now from behind that curtain. The curtain keeps moving in the background.
Oh, man. Yeah. On my bicycle. Fucking hell. How old are you, bicycle? I'm a penny farthing. Just put it in, see what they asked for. Yeah, like I say, mate, I'm just going to stick it in and just see what fucking comes back. I'm actually going to ride it down now and stand with them or around them while I'm doing it, just so I can fucking say something if they ask anything. Maybe bully them into fucking passing it. That's also what anyway. Even through curtain. Oh man, and me. Yeah, they just closed them now. I don't see him again. Yeah. So right then, lads, we've been on an hour and 3 minutes.
Cool.
That is absolutely flowing. I looked at the clock and we was on 47 minutes.
I know.
So that is absolutely flowing, man. So that was really good chat about the Clothing, lads. Really appreciate that. Honestly, I've got another 4 things we can write down here to talk about. COVID was my first one, and that was it. So yeah. So really appreciate it. Right. So what I'm going to do now is just run through some of the people who are on the side chat. Who's med it? We've had Peacock's Paul, Ferret's Magical Mystery Tour. So if you're into off-roading, do have a look at Ferret's channel. He's the lad who took me off-road on the GS when I kept fucking falling off. Jeremy Jones as well. Again, a massive thank you to JJ, mate. Genuinely, mate, you coming down taking that off for me the other Saturday morning, mate, was just fucking brilliant. Such a nice feeling to have that carb off and being able to give you something to get it fixed. Just brilliant. So thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. Back Row Tourist, Hugh, Mick Sheldon, Robert Munro, Biking Critter, Danny. Right, so Danny's been in the wars. He's had a bit of a big operation. So I hope you get better soon, Danny. Exeter Rider, Harry. I said Pecos Paul, I think. Kaiman Go was here as well. And I think that is about everybody. Oh, Mark from Leeds.
You can't forget Mark.
Yeah. So to everybody in the side chat, really, really appreciate it. Honestly, really, really do. Because like I say, it is only a Wednesday. I know it's a Wednesday night, but it breaks a week up. Get up tomorrow. You've only got Thursday and Friday. It's a weekend again. You get back on the lash. Get back on your bikes. So. Exactly. But yeah, I'd like, and also I want to thank you two gents for taking the time and the effort to jumping on the stream as well. Really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime.
Like I say, just if you're free, just message me, because like I say, it does feel like sometimes you're pestering because you keep asking people, and I did say the other week there's loads and loads and loads of channels out there, and you watch a channel, you email them. I'd say for every 10 emails you send, you might get 1, maybe 2 respond back. Out of them, 1 or 2 that respond back. Out of every 10 that respond back, 1 might say they might come on. So, it's not easy. And, a lot of people don't want to come. I don't know why, but a lot of people don't want to come on the lives. So, but, if you do find somebody who, wants to jump on, or they've got a decent channel, not a decent story, because we don't really go into stories, we just have a bit of a chat. But if you know somebody who'd like to come on and have a chat, and, they are going to waffle on too much, but can hold a conversation as well, and you think, that'd be good on the live, drop me a message or drop them a message and try and get us hooked up together. I have got a couple of new guys coming in over the next couple of weeks that I'm still talking to, but again, not new channels, but them new to me. Them on 4, 5, 6,000 subs, but I'm trying. Like I say, I am still trying to get newer channels on that are new to me. So, like I say, if you do know anybody or fancy, or even fancy coming on yourself, then just drop me a message, and we'll try and sort a date out that we can do it. But really, really appreciate you guys, honestly. Thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
So, as usual, if you can all stay safe, keep your family safe, and all do one thing, which is smile. Thank you very much, Muckers. So until the next time, that's me, the Peaky Biker out. See you all soon. Take care, Muckers. See you later.